While you may look at it as a 15-second spot, no, like people need to know this.
Right.
Yeah. People need to know that these brands are talking to our people.
Hello, I'm Shaun Campbell, Group Executive Producer at VML, working on OpenX and Studio X.
My name is Kaleeta McDade. I am Global Chief Experience Design Officer at VML.
What's going on? I'm Sherman Winfield, Executive Creative Director, VML Atlanta, working in OpenX Studio X.
Hey guys, welcome to Bold Culture. Sherm, Kaleeta, Shaun, all just kind of hanging together. We've got some questions, so we're gonna see what's in here. What is your take on the recent backlash of DEAIB efforts? Is this backlash present in marketing and advertising? If so, how?
Definitely seeing the backlash. It's unfortunate. It's not right. It's tangible.
Yeah.
Something that we're all trying to do to fix. It's something that is on everybody to fix, not just me, you. It's everybody. In service of the work, you know what I mean? And the work is better when we're in the room, and the fact that this is happening just ain't it.
Ain't it? You get to do the next one, because, you know.
Next one?
Yeah, because you went first.
I don't need the card, because I got one here.
Look, you came prepared.
I'm going to start off like this, yo. How did y'all get into this field?
I can go.
Yeah. You can start back as early as you want, as quick as you want, but like, what got Shaun?
It's funny because I had an uncle who worked at CBS. His name was Keith Park. And when I was younger, I used to admire this man. Like, he would come to family functions like, I want to be like that guy. He was the man. And when I was in high school, I would get out of school early and I would take the train. This is in Queens, in New York, Newtown High School. I would take the train into Manhattan to CBS to go visit him, and he would let me hang out with him. And just being in that space and having that energy, just be all over me, I was totally impressed by that. And I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. And then I had an aunt, her name is Jean, Aunt Jean, and Uncle Chris, who really promoted, my love for comic books. They would take me out, buy comic books. Also, the summer blockbuster. They would take me to all the summer blockbusters. And I'm that age where Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, they owned the summer. Mm-hmm. And I would go and see those movies, and I was like, I don't want to do anything else but this, and I want to tell stories. So I went to school for TV and film production. And then when I got out, got a great opportunity to work for JWT. And I worked there, met a lady by the name of ML Strasberg, who became like a mom to me, because when I moved to Atlanta, I didn't know anybody. So started working there. I became her assistant, so I was an assistant producer. And she showed me the ropes, and I was traveling all over the place. She was really, really nice. She would protect me from certain things. I remember one time we were taking a picture, and I had a bottle of beer in my hand, and they were about to take the picture. She comes in, and she's like, takes the bottle from me. And I was like, what's up with that? She takes the picture, and then after that, she says, don't ever take a picture with alcohol in your hands, because someone can change the narrative about you. And she helped me through my career, and I loved it. TV, film production, commercial, that was my lane, and I just kept on working at it, sleeping at edit houses to get the work out back in the days when they didn't have all the digital stuff, right? Yeah. And and here I am. So Kaleeta, how did you get started in the business?
An accident. So my major was computer science. My mother was an engineer. She was a Cobalt Fortran programmer and a math major. If it didn't make sense or logic, she was like, art. Creativity. She's like, you're not gonna get paid by that. And so I went into college, and I'm a comp sci major, I'm coding, but all I'm worrying about is what it looks like. So my grades are really good, but the teachers are like, what are you doing? And so I ended up having an internship working at Coca-Cola, came to Atlanta in the summertime, and they had me in the IT department, which, I started to learn I'm very good at it, but I'm not one of those personalities. And so I started making my way into the marketing, where they would do, I don't know if you guys remember the guy who did Obey Your Thirst, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I had a flat top, and he brought us all in as interns, and he was like walking through, and I was like, oh my God, this is your job? This is what they pay you to do? Right. Like, I want to do that. And so my exposure to that made me kind of switch mentally. And what also helped me out is when I graduated, it was the dot-com bust. So anyone who had done computer science, they were like, internet's a fad. There's no jobs here. So luckily, I was like, Mom, I'm broke anyway. So, let me do this art thing. And I was a teacher for a little while, and I put my portfolio together, went door to door in Atlanta, ended up at a place called Diamond Lounge Creative, which was run by Fahamu Peku, shout out, and Jay Carter, who runs like One Music, like right now, which is madness. And worked for them, worked for Purple Ribbon doing magazines, worked club doors. I was about that life. I was still broke though, that's the thing. I had 3 jobs, I was still broke, but I was moving.
Yeah.
But it was like all happy accidents, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Very dope.
Yeah.
Very dope.
All right, because you guys have all the questions and I don't. I'm gonna pull from this nice little pile. Oh, damn it! I had one job. So what about you, Sherman? How'd you get?
Me?
Yeah.
Started in college. I'll be honest, man. I graduated from high school, 4.0, doing all the things, but I didn't know what I want to do. And to your point, I just wanted to make money, so I just picked a major. So I asked Jeeves. This was when I was listening. Highest paying gigs, engineering, done. I'm gonna be an engineer. I was like, I don't like math. So didn't do that. So I was pretty majorless in college for like the first few, and then I stumbled upon Mass Comm. Of course, at Mass Comm, you got all these tracks. You got PR, media, and then advertising. So I was like, let me see what advertising is about, right? So then I walked into a class, and I saw this instructor who would, to John's point, is like now like my mentor and friend. She was just berating, just violence, just like, this idea, I don't know about this idea ain't that. I'm like, yo, what is this? I like this. This is different. Small class, drawings on the wall, things. So I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on in here, but I need to be a part of it. And that's why I learned about it. That's why I really learned. I didn't learn about advertising. Like I knew about TV commercials, but I was like, oh, there's a place that you can do this. There are people that do this. Okay, well, let me learn more. And I just immersed until I made my way to Miami Ad School, and then and then that's how I got in. To your point, it was a mistake. I just kind of was like, let me see what's going on. I'm like, wait a minute, this is fun. It's commerce, it's business, it's creativity.
Yeah.
All right, okay, this is it. This is fun.
Do you ever watch movies and realize everyone in movies has our job? Like they're always a creative director in advertising, and you're just like...
Blackish is too close to comfort. I love the show. Yeah. I love it, but it was too close. I was like,
big time.
But it's so dope.
I was addicted to that show for that reason.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, a black person, and they're in advertising and on TV. I'm watching this.
I was like, word.
Right.
Yeah,
welcome to my life.
Right. I do need that big Mercedes that he had though.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
I gotta check that box.
Right.
Yeah. Word up. And people know like when we're in the room, right? Like you can feel it in the work, man. It's important.
Yeah.
It's important.
So I have a question for you guys. AI.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
It is. There you go. You know what's coming.
AI and how it's going to take all of our jobs. Like I have a position on it, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it. Sherman, I'm going to start with you.
I'm all for the tools. All right. I'm for the tools. We work in creativity, so tools will become to our disposal. Like as we go. When I started off in advertising, I was on Quark. Right, if I ask my juniors what Quark is, they're like, Quark? You'd be like, Quirky? They don't know what Quark is. They don't know. I am. Look, I always said Quark. I've said Jeeves, so you know where I'm at. But I am all for AI. I'm all for the advancement, but as long as it's responsible. Yeah. As long as it's responsible, as long as those that are operating are responsible, those that are crafting it. But when it comes to the talent that's implemented in the work, just be sure that we keep our craft high, right? You can't replicate a human. I'm sorry. You can maybe do that, but no. We have to we work in a business of human and human insights. But we have these tools at our disposal, great, and they're evolving every 5 seconds. Like by the time you ask the question, there's probably a new AI tool out now.
Right.
That's literally the speed of it is unprecedented. But as long as it's done responsibly, those that are creating these tools and it's used responsibly, I'm all for it because I know 10 years down the line is going to be something else that's going to make AI look crazy.
Yeah.
I will say this, as someone who comes from a comp sci background, I see it in definitely in the work, but I also feel AI is intimacy at scale. Mm-hmm. All of the things that are input inside of AI is actually our humanity, but it's amplified in a huge or larger place. The danger is everything's amplified, right? Whether that's the good things, but also the bad things. And so when we start to look at not only who's using it, who's training it is always my question.
Operators,
who is actually putting the inputs of how Black people, how brown people, how we will be seen, and who's making sure that that amplification is correct. And so I I'm excited about AI because I think it's going to make us do more creative roles in our life, and we're not going to do rote things anymore. And so we'll start to see people start to free themselves from the things that I think are mundane. But I am also worried about the interpretation of us and the interpretation of what we represent and who's owning that narrative.
Right.
So that's where I'm excited, but also aware of like the implications and wanting to use it responsibly, but also question, the efficacy of it sometimes.
Yeah, like who's behind that? Like
Yeah.
who's doing it, right?
Yeah, and I think we may need to make more of an effort on our end to be the gatekeepers.
Sure.
Right,
Yeah.
of that. AI, I embrace it because I think it's part of us evolving as a species. And there have been other challenges that we've had in life when it comes to technology and such. One of the things that we have been able to do as far as advertising is concerned is adapt.
Yeah.
We take things, they said years ago, the 30-second commercial is no longer going to exist.
Right.
Not only does it exist, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billboards and Twitter or X, Instagram,
Yeah.
it's on social. So not only did it, that threat of it dying did not come true. It just exploded. And I think the same thing with AI. As long as we can adapt and use it the way we feel it should be used, and we're the gatekeepers of it, I embrace it.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful saying that, I don't know if you guys know who Nick Law is, and he was talking about when advertising first came out, it was copy and print, right? And then the film guys came out and they're like, that's not creative. It's not copy and it's not print.
Yeah, see things move.
Right?
Yeah.
And when the first film or the first camera was made, or film camera was made, it actually took from people who were doing theater. So it sat there and it captured someone coming in and out, and it just sat there, right? Because it was mimicking what theater did. It wasn't until panning, zooming, and cinematography came to life that creativity brought language to the technology. And so what I'm looking at now is a shift that's happening. And as creatives, we're being asked to bring language to the technology.
Yeah.
We're asking, I think we're looking at AI in its most base form, but I think our role is going to be, how do we give it a language? How do we give it a way to breathe life and to be creative in its own right?
Yeah.
Right. Which doesn't exist right now.
It doesn't exist right now.
No. And you need that to be a great storyteller.
Is it on me? Is it on me?
Is it on me? Oh, here you go. Oh, wait, you got it? You don't need to.
Let me see some cards. Let me see. I might freestyle.
You might freestyle.
Let me see. Boom. I'm gonna freestyle a couple of these. All right, here it is. Boom. All right. What would you tell your 25-year-old self about what you know now about life? Parentheses, professionally and personally. 25.
Don't date that one guy with the tattoos, though he's cute.
Did that one dude with the sleeves? He had sleeves at the neck joint.
Like always loved me that guy.
Man, do you want me to go?
You go first, because I gotta process.
Yeah, the whole thing.
If I could do that, I would tell them, or me, to be bold or bolder and stronger, because at the end it all works out. Look at me.
Yeah. Looking good, fly.
It all works out in the end. I think, culturally speaking, coming from the Caribbean, we are told to be humble and to be grateful. So sometimes we hide, right? And I think I did a lot of that when I was coming up into the business. I hid a lot because I thought I should just be grateful in this space. So don't push things too much. I would definitely tell my younger, or 25-year-old self, do away with that. Don't even worry about that. Be bold, be strong, be present, say what you gotta say what's on your mind. Don't offend people, obviously, but take the risk. That's pretty much it that I would say.
It's funny, because I actually believe when you have a certain amount of information, you move with the information you have. I wouldn't tell her anything. And the reason I wouldn't is I have made so many mistakes, but I needed to make all of them.
Right.
I needed to make all of those bad boyfriend mistakes. I need to make all those bad move mistakes, and even some bad job choices,
right,
in order for me to be where I am today. And so, I would just watch her, and I think I would just give a little bit more grace and just love her a little more.
You want to hang out with her?
But I don't know. She was a little cray. She was a little much. She was a little much, you know? A little over top. But yeah. What about you? 25 Sherman.
25 Sherman. Let me see. What was 25 Sherman doing? That was somewhere in ad school. I don't know. I tell them to just continue to stay far from timid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, y'all know me well. Like, y'all are my friends. Like, this is not stage. Like, y'all are my people. Like, kids play together. I've been in your, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people may feel I'm timid, but to be honest, I'm a lion, but honestly, I want to be a lamb. So sometimes the lion will come out so I can be the lamb that I am, right? But just continue to be bold. You know what I mean? And that stay far from timid is a biggie line.
Right.
Shout out to Biggie. Biggie. But just stay far from timid. Like, we are in an industry, we are in a situation where we have to be bold, we have to be seen, we have to be heard. So a lot of times, like, people may be quiet, I was like, nah, just continue to be smart, be sharp, because it's louder than anything else. So just stay far from timid. Don't let people feel just because you're quiet that you're not there. But no, I'm there, I'm listening, I'm hearing, I'm doing. You know what I mean? So I would tell the very not that confident Sherman that would just sit in ad class and take notes and be quiet and not speak up, like, yo, go ahead, get loud, bro. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's funny that you say that, though, because I remember when you and I connected, and it was the lamb moment that I connected with.
Yeah.
It wasn't the bold moment.
Yeah.
And you probably remember this. It was at AICP, and you were sitting down, and we watched the show. We were having a good time, and I looked at you, and you were in a particular space.
Yeah.
And I walked over to you, and we sat down. We had a moment, like a male bonding moment that was cool.
Yeah.
And I remember after that, you know, it's not a meeting, but we were just exchanging words and stuff like that. I was like, that's the man. That's the guy, you know, that made me connect with you, not the strong, bold dude.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. So yeah, keep doing what you do, bro.
Word up. Word up. Where we at?
All right, I think you
got a
me?
freestyle question.
Okay,
Man. You got to freestyle. You got to freestyle, man. You got to get bars, man. Give me bars.
What the
man.
people want? What the people want? Maybe that's a question. All right, so let me ask, because I do feel people don't understand the gravity of where we are in life and how there's not a lot of us in this space.
Oh, no.
For you. You hear me?
No.
So this is just a magical moment, but also, like, maybe what's keeping you optimistic about this next group of creators and innovators and creatives? Like, what are you seeing out there from that group that you're just excited by?
You want me to go? Or?
You can hit it first.
You know, I was at a family event, and my sister-in-law pulled me to the side, and she was like, Shaun, you know, no one knows what you do.
I get that
Every day of my life.
Every week.
Every day of
I
my
was
life.
like, is your commercial on TV yet? Like, well, it's online. It's an OLV kind of. Yeah.
So I said, what do you mean? She's like, you know what? You know, you live a nice life. You live in a nice house. You drive a nice car, but no one knows what you do. We know you work in advertising, but what is it that you do in advertising? So getting back to what I said about being humble and quiet and not, you know, being boastful about things. I think that's part of my DNA. And I said to her, I said, you know what, you're right. She was like, yeah, how are you going to inspire the people in your the younger people in your family when no one knows what you do? Like, why are you hiding? Right? Getting back to the question. These young people are not hiding.
Facts.
They are loud and proud, and I love it. Sometimes, you know, we'll have an event at work, and I'm just sitting there just watching them in awe because I did not have that when I was younger. Like, I was quiet because I didn't have anyone in the space to relate to.
Sure.
They're talking amongst themselves, like talking about shows and different music that they're listening to, and I'm like, wow, so much has changed in this business as far as people that look like us, and they're comfortable in the space. But I will say, you know, maybe our agency is pretty unique, but there are times, like even on shoots, I'm still the only one. So we still have a lot more work to do. But, like I said, getting back to the question, young people make me proud, man. They are really killing it.
Creativity has become extremely democratized, right? Like, we're chasing around kids that are creating content we wish we can make, and all they have is a phone and a charger.
Yep.
And that is crazy.
That's crazy.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am here for it. I'm chasing you, young buck. Like, yo, how? Because I'm great out here. Like, how you like help me, help you, help me, right?
Yeah.
No, it is great to see this newer school, man. And
Yeah.
I'm big on mentorship, as y'all know. I teach, like we all do our, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like I'm in awe when I'm in class. With the one school, I'm in awe when I speak at events. It's like they are out here making stuff, doing stuff, things that there was a gate up when I was their age. There was a massive gate up, and I had to knock on and shake on it, get this person. They're doing it on their own,
Right.
at home, and it's tough to be, and it is inspiring.
Yeah,
So for me as a leader, I'm just trying to make room for them. I'm not trying to get in their way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use what I have, the pull that I have, to make room for them to grow.
Yeah.
100%. So y'all know me, right? I teach. I love the babies. I love the young school, the new school. They're way flyer than we ever were. What are your thoughts on mentorship, and what are we going to do to be sure that we make room for them?
Who you want to go first?
You can go.
All right.
You already prepped. I got answers.
I like this one. I like
answers.
this one. So the reason I kind of like this one, because I've had so many different stages in my career where people showed up for me, straight up, like times where I had no business being in certain rooms. They put me in those rooms. I had no business being on stages. They were like, Kaleeta, go. And just those gentle nudges and pushes have been so important. So for me, I've had a lot of mentorship. I want to talk a little bit about sponsorship though too, because what's happening is we got a lot of people coming in, but we don't have a lot of people coming to take our roles next. We were at Canwell, and I don't know if you were at the Halle Berry thing.
Yeah.
She said something really profound to me. She got up and she said, hey, 20 years ago, I got, this Oscar. And since then, no one other black woman has gotten it. And she said, I don't want to be the only.
That's right.
And so I think my biggest thing isn't just mentoring, but also sponsoring the next set of leaders.
And growing them up. Yeah.
Of ECDs, of GCDs, because we've got a lot of people who want to be creators, but doing the business of creative is like,
it's a whole
as we
thing.
know, the business of creative is a different level, because you can be a creative person, but managing a client, managing the process, stakeholders, feedback, expectations, budgets, like it starts to become like you have to be a business person and a business creative, but not lose your creativity. And so really helping people at that next level is where I've been focused.
Yeah. It's so funny. Remember that saying, if you build it, they will come?
Yeah. Field dreams.
Yeah. So I feel like if you build yourself, they will come. People sometimes will seek you out because they hear about you. And that happened to me about a week ago. The two young ladies, they reached out to me and they were like, hey, Shaun, like producers, heard about you, would like to meet you. And I was like, sure. So we set up a meeting and I spoke to them. And at first it was kind of like they were trying to figure me out, like, who is this guy, so it was kind of very formal. And I told them, I said, guys, relax, like we could talk. So we're talking and stuff, and they were like, can we just tell you something? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, man, when we heard about you, we Googled you up, and we saw you were black, and we were like, woo!
Oh,
man.
because Shaun Campbell. Yeah, you're right. Because I never did. Oh, you were black. I got Kaleeta.
Understood. I'm black in the flesh, And so they sought me out.
Yeah.
And they started asking me questions and stuff about how I got into the business, what was my take on things. And my advice to them was just concentrate on the self.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It is so important to concentrate on yourself. Don't burden yourself with all these other things. Because guess what? Your competition, if you will, they're not burdened with those things. So, and you don't have to be. You can choose to, but you don't have to. So just concentrate on what you do. Be good at your craft. Don't make it so job-esque, if you will. Make it something that's part of who you are. Let it feed your passion. Make it your passion. Put yourself out there. Watch movies. Go to film festivals. Go to museums. Just put yourself in that space so that when you are in a position, such as being a producer or whatever, it's a comfortable space that you're in. And you're able to be energized, because this business will beat you up.
Yeah.
right?
Yes, got the bruises.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, it'll wake you up every now and then. You be like, all right,
Yeah. So you need something to inspire you, and sometimes that may not come from your peers.
Yeah.
You got to step outside of that and be inspired. But if you don't expose yourself to certain things, you're gonna be lost. You know.
Yeah.
So I told them that, and they kind of got it, and we had a great conversation. And after that call, I was like, wow, they're seeking me out.
Yeah.
I didn't have that when I was coming up in the business.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel extremely grateful that I'm a person that's accessible.
Do you ever like have this moment where you're just doing like a reality check, like, oh, me? Like, oh, you want to talk to me? Like,
That was it. That
Yeah.
was definitely it. Yeah, and I was really, really happy about how that conversation went. Yeah. What about you, Sharon?
Man, you know, I love to teach. Like, I've been teaching students, and, you know, when I was a student in undergrad, you know, my instructor, my mentor still, she was like, yo, this industry needs you. I didn't know what she meant, because, again, I was 2 years into student advertising. What do you mean? She was like, I'm like, all these great ads been done. She was like, no, you have no idea.
Right.
She said it out loud. She was like, you have no idea, sweetheart. Just go to ads. Like, you'll do it. It is important to have a champion, and to Kaleeta's point, it's also good to have some sponsorship. Like, we have to grow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can get folks in and hire, but it's like we have to grow them inside, and that's on everybody in an agency setting, right? Like, we can bring them in, we can help mentor, but it's like it's everybody's job to help grow. Because, again, in service of the work, man, like, the work gets better every single time when you have voices that haven't been heard, right? And clients are demanding that. There are numbers attached to this. This is something made up, right? So, big on making room, and just, you know, and I will say it loud, just it's on everybody.
Yeah.
It's on everybody to play a role, to be a part. And I love, to your story, Shaun, like, it's okay to ask. Like, I know a lot of time, like mentees, like, ask, like, yo, can you be my big bro? Can you be my big sis? Can you be my mentor? Yes, we will. You know what I mean? Like, it is important to ask, man. This is big. So, big on that, and it'll help to bolster a better industry.
Yeah.
Always.
Agreed. Can I do the last question?
On you.
Yeah.
Because I want to humanize us a little bit.
Okay.
Because everything has been very focused on work. And I know we're amazing people and parents and fathers
Love
and
my baby
daughters
boys.
and such, right? What is the family dynamic for you guys, and how does work play into that? Start with you, Kaleeta.
You know, it's interesting because I think as a mom, I mean, you guys are both dads, but there's something about an expectation that children just have. That's mom, right? And I have always been very, very much, when I'm present. And I travel a lot, and I do so many things. I work late hours, but I try to make sure I don't mix certain things. Like, I don't have my phone. And recently, my youngest daughter told me something. I had been traveling a lot, and she came to me and she said, hey, Mom, do you remember my name?
Oh, wow.
And that hit me so hard. Wow. And what I always tell myself is, whatever their reality is real. And I can't sit there making excuses. Oh, why would I said, honey, tell me why you thought that, right? And she was like, well, are you going to stay? And in her little voice, I understood that the amount of travel I was doing was affecting her.
Right.
So I made some shifts and changes, and I can tell people to this day, like, I don't know if it hurt my career or not. I don't know if I care.
Right.
But I started being like, hey, I can't do all this travel. Have someone else go.
Boundaries.
Do this thing, and setting those boundaries. And I often tell people, this industry will waterboard you unless you learn how to close your mouth.
Yep.
I feel that.
You will still be thirsty if you allow this thing to waterboard you. So I started to make boundaries, and that's made all the difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I had a situation like that. I was on vacation, and I work. This guy knows.
We work. We actively work. We all got things going on at the same
hours. My wife goes, you're going to go to sleep, right? You know, because I'm in the bed and I got the computer, because I love what I do.
Yeah, that's the hard part, because
it's a lot of fun, man.
It's so much fun.
It's good, it's smart.
A sense of purpose, right? So we were on vacation, my family, and my daughter says to my wife, wow, Dad is not on his phone.
Oof.
And my wife said that to me. It broke my heart. So we went out to dinner, and I said, guys, I heard you told your mom that, wow, Dad is not on his phone. Why did it take, because my kids were older at this point, and I was like, why did it take you guys so long to express that to me because I didn't know, right? Yeah. And they said, oh, we just thought all dads did that.
Wow.
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 So to your point, I was just like, whoa, this is a moment. I got to chill. I've got to be present. We've got to put the phone away. The whole multitasking thing, I'm trying to break out of that big time and make time and space for them. And I just had to do things differently because kids are watching.
They're watching.
And we're inspiring them.
Yeah.
And sometimes that inspiration could be good and sometimes it could be bad, you know? Because you can't be inspired to do bad things, right? You usually connect that word to good things, to positive things, but you could be inspired to do bad things. So I had to shift focus, and when we're on vacation, I'm just not on my phone anymore. I love to read, so I'm the dad with the magazines. I don't even bring the iPad or the phone.
Yeah, you just read the joint.
They're mistaken and go, oh, dad is working. It's like, no, dad is reading GQ.
Reading GQ. That is GQ, so I'm reading GQ. Makes sense. That's good.
Yeah. What about you, Sher?
Man, look, y'all both know Langston, my oldest. Every 6 weeks, he asks, am I going to New York? He just asks. He's like, you going to New York? I'm just like, I ain't going, man. I'm not going, bro. Just, but like, what I tend to do is and I know that every 5-year-old ever is creative, but I try to harness his creativity when I'm at home. Like, right now we're at the debacle. Like, he got a tablet, but I want to make sure he can write in cursive or just write, right? So like we harness his creativity. And like that's how me and him rock with it. Now my 3-year-old, he's in a whole nother world. He don't care if I'm gone for like with Lucas, man.
He's different, man.
Like Lucas is 35, bro. But my 5-year-old, man, me and him get down. We get creative and. Sometimes he'll kick a line. I'm like, was that a strategy? The other day he said, Dad, driving is like exercise for cars. And I'm like, wow. That's a brief, bro. What are you on right now? You know what I mean? Like that's how me and him consistently link. And again, like my wife is a physician, so she's busy, but like we definitely are sure to harness the creativity of our 2 young black men, right? You have to. And I teach him confidence. Like he tries to draw a car. He's like, it only have 3 wheels. I'm like, sorry, do it. Still do it, right? Because that's that confidence that I wish I had at 5 all the way up to to 25. That you talked about, right? So like I am sure, even if I am gone, that I bring him some back, but also just being sure while I'm at home, just to keep him creative, just keep him fly and keep him confident.
That's so cool. Like our kids are our second shot.
Yeah.
Right. Like what we weren't able to accomplish or do, this is our opportunity to feed into our kids to do something different, right? Because my grandmother used to say every generation should be better off than a generation before, right? When I was growing up, I always took that to mean that it was an adult's responsibility to make that true. But as I gotten older and more mature, I'm like, you know what? The kids have some skin in the game too. Yeah. They have to make sure that they are doing better than a generation before, based on what we are able to provide to them. Yeah, But I do want to say before we end that it's a pleasure working with you guys. It's a pleasure knowing you guys. Just being in this experience right now, there's a smile, on my face and inside, and seeing you guys in the hallways just. Like I said, when I was coming up, I did not have this at all. This experience is new. So thank you. I'm going to give you your flowers right now.
Aw, I like some good flowers.
I love a nice little tulip here.
Tutu. Yeah, so I'm going to ask one more question. And the reason, when 2020 happened, I used to have a word for each year. And my word in 2020 was balance. And then, COVID happened, I stopped doing that. And so getting back to like the habit of like looking forward, what do you guys see for yourselves, for the industry, for your business, for all the things in the next 5 years? Because I think anything past 5 feels like a little much. Anybody?
Yeah, 5 years from now. That's a really good question.
That's such an interesting time period.
It's an interesting time period because 5 years goes by really, really fast.
It's going to be almost 2030.
Yeah. So if I were to make it a goal, like in 5 years, I want to have achieved this, I would say I want to dial it back a little bit and spend more time grooming the next generation to be, can I say this, badasses. I want them to own the space. Not be grateful to be in the space, not feel like a box has been checked, but actually show up and command that space. I want to be able to provide that to them and encourage them to do their best, own the space, like I said. And then as far as like my personal life, where do I see myself? I think simplicity there too. Like just kind of dialing it back and just kind of chilling a bit more, because I feel like I've earned it. I've earned to kind of play that role now, right? Because then what's the point of having worked this hard all these years? Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna keep it simple.
Yeah.
Let's go on.
If I do this right the next 5 years, I only want to be known to the new generation as OG.
Yeah.
If I'm doing it right. Not OG, not, you know what I mean? But like, a few always started to call me OG, and like OG has its connotations. OG means like, I trust you, you've been around, I've seen what you're doing, you've inspired me. And I'm okay, I don't want to be Mr. Winfield. I just, no, call me OG. Like OG means when I come to you, you know I need something and you're going to help me get there, man. I'm all about the new school. Not that I'm done. I still got a little fight in me. I'm still a little bit of Carlito's way in there, right? Still got, you know, but at the end of the day, man, it's about who's next and what's next. So if I can be known as OG, that would make me the most happy. And when it comes to the personal life, I probably want like 50 more pair of sneakers by that point. Maybe a bigger house, a little electric car. You know what I mean? We talked about that coming over here.
Come on, when you come to Roswell?
Soon. All right. Soon as these rates come down. Soon as rates come down. So yes. So I want to be known as OG and then move near Shaun because his house is baller. Easy.
You know, it's funny because when I think about 5 years, I'm not even supposed to be here. Like, my plan was to be a creative director. Like, that was my top plan, right? So from a career perspective, I have no idea what the aspiration is, but from a life balance, I'm with you guys. Like, I think there's been enough spotlight and enough shine that I have consumed, you know? And I want to leverage that shine and start to move it around. You know, just start to give it, because otherwise I feel like I need to be the you know, the auntie, the rich auntie. You know, rich is air quotes, not with money. Rich is a mindset.
Rich in spirit, rich in contacts, rich in networks.
Right, just the rich auntie who's just here to spoil the next generation and just, you know,
I can see you doing that.
Easily.
Yeah, I can see you doing that.
Easy.
That's an easy layup.
Great though.